Hi guys, Artie Lyons with you again from S.A.G.A Entertainment Media. We do have a division of S.A.G.A Films. Real Lazaro and myself have been corroborating again about another project that we've been working on. It actually started as a dream that I had. It took place in a school. A guy he's a nerd and he's a bookworm, but he's very smart, right? Intelligent, but he's bullied. He's bullied every day of his existence in the school, and nothing changes. Every day he's bullied, day in, day out, by this guy named Bryson. Oh, by the way, his name is Arnie, and the bully ringleader's name is Bryson. And Bryson has his buddies too, that are 3 or 4 with him that continue to bully. They follow him in bullying Arnie. So one day, his parents do want him to take martial arts or some sort of self-defense, but he's lacking confidence, so he doesn't do that because he's afraid that he's going to get beat up even more learning the martial arts or the self-defense fighting systems. So he ends up just taking it. He's a sucker for punishment, you might say. But what happens is one day he's really beat up by them, and he sports a black eye and a real bloody nose, and he's afraid to go home to show his parents. He's ashamed. But he has a refuge or a place that his sanctuary. He goes to this bookstore and he finds a book and he reads it. He's a speed reader. Like I said, he's very intelligent. And it's a great movie, I think, because it's dealing with an issue about bullying, but it's actually brings in fantasy in there or science fiction. See, what happens is when he goes to the bookstore, he finds this book. The old shopkeeper, he's collected books in his lifetime, right? Many of them. He's pulled out of his attic, and he's brought the books to his store, and there's a bunch of books that are really old, like very old, that he's acquired from around the world and that, and one in particular catches Arnie's eye. It's got a gold, flashy, kind of shimmering cover, and it's big, right? It's a big book, big thick book, and he asked Peter to give him the book. And by the way, Peter sees that he's been beat up, and he helps him with an ice pack on his face, right? So to get the swelling down and that. But Peter tells him about the book, that he's never read the book. He acquired it in the Middle East, and it's it's thousands of years old. It's been translated from our Aramaic to Old English style. So Arnie looks at it, he falls in love with it. He thinks it's the coolest book he's ever seen, right? It looks to him that there's a bunch of poetry there that is really, really deep, right? And it's called the Jinn. He takes it home and he starts reading out this poetry out loud, but really it's not poetry. This is magical incantation words that summons a creature from another dimension, which is Jinsa. And so the creature is summoned, which is a Jinn named Jinn. He's like a jolly green giant, and the genie rolled into one, you might say, right? So he appears. He introduces himself as Torque, and Arnie is just totally fascinated, like he's flabbergasted that he's actually summoned this creature from another dimension. And this creature, Torque, is telling him that he's giving him 3 wishes or 3 desires that he has in his life to better his life, and that. And so Arnie says, well, I have a real problem. I've got these bullies at school, and they're beating me up every day, and nothing seems to change. And I want you to be my bodyguard. So he asks Torque to be his bodyguard, and then he asks for another a desire of his, a wish that people start recognizing his intelligence and the things that he does in the school, like his science projects and that. Like they don't really treat him like a weird kid or a nerd, but somebody that is more well liked and is recognized for his work, right? His accomplishments. So he says, Torque says it's done. He gives him the two wishes, and there's another wish that he doesn't wish for right away. He's more concerned. He starts asking questions about Torque and his dimension there in Jinsa, and he just is fascinated by the culture. He wants to know. They talk for hours about things, and Torque he tells him all about what it is like in the dimension of Jinsa, and how it's so much different than Earth, and how humans behave, right? They're more ordered, and there's a definite system that everybody follows. Nobody does their own thing, kind of thing. It's more uniform, more well organized structure of society, right? They've kind of gone through, evolved, from violence to non-violence to peace, and that kind of thing, right? So Arnie wants Torque to actually bodyguard him at school, so he takes him to school the next day. But the only thing is, the only one that can see Torque is Arnie, right? So everybody else, they can't see him, right? And so this Bryson guy, he starts bullying him again, and this time it looks like Arnie has learned a bunch of real cool martial arts moves, and very strong, and even puts a couple of bullies in the hospital too, right? A couple of his buddies, not Bryson, but Bryson is really really surprised for the huge change. He doesn't buy it. He thinks there's something strange going on, and he wants to get to the bottom. So he spies on Arnie and follows him to his house one day, and looks and finds out that he's talking to somebody that's not there. He's invisible, and he mentions the word Jin in the book and everything like that, Arnie, right? So they're talking about Jin and Jinsa, the Jin, I mean, and what's happening there, and what kind of creatures they are, and so he wants to be in on this. So what he does is Bryson waits one night. They're gone. They go out to dinner, and he breaks into the house, and he steals the book. But he wants to find out how to summon a Jinn, right? He tries to summon a Jinn, but he doesn't do it properly. He doesn't read it out loud 3 times, those words. But he doesn't give up. He knows that Arnie is the nerd, and he records everything, and so he finds his journal, looks in there, and gets the answer. Well, you know what he does? He takes that book, he goes home, and he actually summons another Jinn. He reads the book 3 times. I mean the magic words from the book 3 times, and he summons another Jinn that's even more evil or bigger than Torque is a little bit, right? He's a little darker Jinn, right? Darker green even. So he's not so friendly. He's like more, I don't know, like more like Bryson. He introduces himself as Tubal, and what Bryson is really fascinated. I mean, he's excited now because he's got this creature, and this creature tells him that from another dimension that he's going to grant him 3 wishes for all his heart's desire, whatever he wishes, right? So right away, Bryson wishes for 10 real super, sports cars, luxury sports cars, and like 10 of them. And he also wishes to be rich, but he doesn't give a specific amount of money. He doesn't ask for $1 million or $20 million. He's kind of a little stupid that way, but that he doesn't ask for a specific amount. So, and the third wish is he wishes that Tubal will come to school with him and fight in Arnie's gin. He mentions about that. So what happens is he looks outside. Tubal says it's done, and he finds that there's 10 luxury sports cars parked in his driveway and around about, and they all have pink slips with his name on it. And he also looks at himself, and he's got a money belt with hundreds of thousands of dollars in there. He's got bling, up the yin yang. He's got diamonds and everything on him, on jewelry and that kind of thing, right? So, and he's also in a very sharp-looking suit with, shiny shoes and everything like that, right? So he's just totally captivated by this transformation, his transformations, and he feels so powerful and great because he's got this creature at his beck and call now, and the very, very powerful looking creature, to say the least. He brings him to school the next day, and they start bullying Arnie again, but at this time Arnie's got a lot of people liking him everywhere he goes. They just like him. It's one of the wishes, the desires that has become fertile is really happened. So what happens after that is they start bullying Arnie, and his bodyguard Torque comes to the rescue. And so what happens is after that he comes to the rescue, and then Bryson has his gin that goes after Torque. So there's a fight that goes on, and a whole classroom is destroyed by these 2 creatures from another dimension. They're fighting, and they're invisible. Nobody can see them except the masters, which are Bryson and Arnie, which is really quite something. But anyhow, this is what's happening, and then all of a sudden they're interrupted by a Jinn Lord that appears from Jinza. He comes through, and he tells them stop fighting immediately, because these 2 know each other, right? They're actually brothers, and Tubal is the older brother. He should know better, right? But he's the instigator. So the Jinn Lord takes him back, kind of grounds him, and takes him back to Jinza with him. And when he's gone, all those wishes that he gave Bryson are also gone too. So Bryson is just freaking out now. All of a sudden he's playing Jane Bryson now again. So he goes home, he tries to summon the Jinn back several times, and then the Jinn Lord appears, warns him, says don't play with magic that you don't understand, or you can't, you're not worthy of having, because many others in the past, thousands of years ago, were the same way, and they end up either just disappearing completely off the earth without a trace, or they ended up being an animal. They turned into an animal, like a pig or a bull or something that was just ready to be slaughtered, right? So really scared the living daylights out of Bryson, so he was very stopped automatically or right away, and the Jinn Lord took the book away from him, give it back, went and appeared to Arnie and give it back to him. And he also said that Torque could stay with Arnie to kind of protect him or whatever, as long as he wanted to, as long as he didn't fight, right? So he didn't have to fight anymore. He was kind of like banned from fighting, right? So at this time, it was just impossible for Arnie to be bullied because there's just so many people coming to his rescue and everything, right? If Bryson even tried to bully him, Bryson started feeling like a leper. They were like totally, him and his buddies were totally ignored, and looked like misfits in the school, and really bad. And in the meantime, Arnie's platonic girlfriend, who I didn't mention earlier, but her name is Tracy Moore, and she starts falling for Arnie a lot, and she starts getting rid of her. She has these glasses, these big thick rimmed glasses, right? And she's a nerd too, right? So one day she just loses those and has contacts, and then she dresses more sexier, more hotter, for Arnie, and then he starts falling for her, and she really wants to, like, all the girls too are really admiring Arnie too for standing up to, like, he becomes more confident all the time, right? And because he's with Torque, right? And he's really becomes very popular in the school. And it's what happens is he has a transformation, but his time is running out. He's got only one wish left, and what he didn't understand is that he's got a time limit for asking for these wishes, because if he doesn't ask for the wishes, then the djinn has to bring 3 maledictions or 3 curses on him. So he's only got like one day or less to even figure out what he's going to wish for. But he's warned that it's got to be something that he really wants, not something that he doesn't want, right? So he consults with Tracy, and Tracy says, well, I mean, your bodyguard is really, he's a bit of a nuisance, right? Because, people can see him now. He's made himself visible for everybody and scares them everywhere he goes, right? And he's got a loud voice. He's not fighting with anybody, but he's scaring them, right? Because he's this huge person, right? Next to Arnie, everywhere he goes, right? Being a super bodyguard, right? So the only thing that they can do, he figures that out at the very last minute. They just in the nick of time that they have to send Torque back. That's got to be the third wish, right? So, and then they decide to get rid of the book too, so that nobody could ever find it. So they bury the book deep in the ground next to Tracy's house, so that nobody will ever find it. And the Djinn Lord appears again and commends Arnie. He thought that it gave him a hope for the human race. He thought the human race were really stupid and just violent creatures, that were foolish and greedy. But after he's met Arnie, it's restored his faith in the human race. So at the very end, well, I'm not going to give away the ending, but what happens is they do send Torque back, and the book is gone now, and no, he doesn't need the book anymore. He's not bullied. In fact, Bryson and his buddies are just totally outcasts in the school. I mean, nobody pays them any respect or anything. They feel just so small. So, yeah, that's higher protection. We've actually we've done a synopsis on it. I haven't written a script yet, but that's going to be coming next. Okay, so thanks for listening, and do share and like and share it on Amazon. We're going to be publishing it soon, posting it on there. Thanks. Have a good one. Bye.